Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, over the weekend, Greenville police arrested a man for a high-speed chase that went over 100 miles per hour. According to court documents, 22-year-old Joseph Wright was arrested Saturday by Greenville police. Warrants showed that on Friday, police were attempting to stop Wright as he was driving 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. Now, Wright did not stop, warrants show, and led police on a chase, reaching 100 miles per hour, even going on the wrong side of the road. Now, the Greenville man also turned off his headlights while driving away from police at a high rate of speed, according to warrants. On the highway, Wright drove through a red light and a stop sign. Now, Wright is charged with the following: flee to elude arrest with a motor vehicle, speeding, reckless driving, resisting public officer, failed to heed light or siren, driving while license revoked, failure to burn headlamps, failure to stop at a steady red light, failure to stop at stop sign, wrong way on a dual-lane highway, and driving while impaired. He was taken to the Pitt County Detention Center, where he was given no bond. And now we want to turn to news out of Washington, where Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is now facing a criminal investigation. NBC's Garrett Hake has more.
This morning, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell says he's under investigation and the threat of criminal indictment by the Justice Department amid a year-long pressure campaign by President Trump to force the central bank to lower interest rates.
This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
In a phone interview with NBC News Sunday night, President Trump denied having any knowledge of an investigation or that he would use one to pressure Powell. Quote, "No, I wouldn't even think of doing it that way," the president told me. What should pressure him is the fact that rates are far too high. That's the only pressure he's got. Powell says the Federal Reserve was issued subpoenas on Friday relating to his Senate testimony last June about the Fed's multi-billion-dollar Washington headquarters renovation.
Plans have continued to evolve.
Trump has repeatedly blasted Powell over the project, saying last month,
"We're thinking about bringing a suit against Powell for incompetence."
Powell dismissing the administration's focus on the construction.
Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
The president has long flirted with firing Powell for not lowering rates enough.
If we had a Fed chairman that understood what he was doing, interest rates would be coming down too.
News of the investigation slammed by senators from both parties. Democrat Elizabeth Warren writing, quote, "Trump is abusing the authorities of the Department of Justice like a wannabe dictator." And Republican Tom Tillis vowing to, quote, "oppose the confirmation of any nominee for the Fed, including the upcoming Fed chair vacancy, until this legal matter is fully resolved."
And again, that was Garrett Hake reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, looking at a lot of sunshine for today and tomorrow. The big difference between the 2 days is going to come down to wind direction, which will have a direct impact on your air temperature. Today, northerly winds bringing in some cooler air, so despite the sunshine, it is again going to be a chilly day out there. 37 degrees right now in Grifton. We've got a northerly breeze blowing in at 9 miles an hour, making 37 feel more like 31. And across eastern North Carolina, just about all inland areas right now are still in the 30s. We've got some 40-degree readings showing up along the coast, 40 in Beaufort, 40 as well in Hatteras. But compared to where we were yesterday at this time, air temperatures have come down significantly. You walk outside and you're going to notice that, okay, eastern North Carolina weather has done its thing again. We went from, again, more of a spring-like Saturday to, well, I would say an early winter Sunday to now a full winter Monday. Air temperatures, again, likely impacted due to the northerly winds that are currently blowing in at around 6 to 12 miles an hour. Those wind speeds should hold at that level through most of the day. We're going to see a little bit of cloud cover try to move in from the south later on this evening, and that is going to come with a shift in the winds. A southwesterly wind in play coming up for tomorrow, which will take our air temperatures back into the mid to upper 50s by tomorrow afternoon. Couple that with, again, plenty of sunshine as you're seeing here. Rain showers off the coast, yes, but certainly nothing over land. That's going to leave us with a very nice forecast and a comfortable forecast by tomorrow afternoon, possibly even lingering into Wednesday. But the later we get in the week, the better opportunities we have for rain. It's not only going to be rain, but we're going to be getting some cold air coming down out of Canada thanks to that area of low pressure you're seeing near the Great Lakes. That system is going to push moisture into eastern North Carolina with the assistance of another area of low pressure coming out of the Gulf region. Now it's going to be backed up by another low pressure system out of Canada. So you can see we kind of have three different systems all coming together at the same time. It's going to make for a fairly messy forecast, but the good news is each system will likely rob each other of strength. And that is, again, going to lead us to more of a scattered rainfall type of event with air temperatures falling, but certainly no threat of severe weather here in eastern North Carolina. So overall, again, it's not looking like a fairly comfortable end to the week, but it certainly does come with some, we'll call it excitement in the weather center. Gives us something to look forward to as far as raindrops go. But for this evening, certainly no raindrops expected. Air temperatures likely going to be staying in the 30s once we get past 7 p.m. until we get to give it around 2, 3 a.m. early tomorrow morning. That's when we'll be dipping back into the 20s. Overall, again, a cold night again tonight. Do want to say good morning to Amanda Bloom. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully, again, you have an amazing day as well. I know we've been talking about the opportunity for snow later on this week. In fact, for tomorrow morning, you're probably going to be feeling like, all right, snow's a possibility. But by the time we get to tomorrow afternoon, you say, no, we're too close to 60. Too close to 60. But here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. And we'll point out that coming up Thursday into Friday, we are maintaining an opportunity for a few raindrops coming down. But it's not just raindrops. No overnight lows dropping all the way down into the low 20s Thursday night into Friday morning. Now, if any sort of moisture comes through as our temperatures drop below freezing, we could see maybe a few snowflakes. But air temperatures dropping that low usually indicate a very dry air mass, so we're not anticipating any sort of widespread major snow event. If we see anything, it's likely going to be a few isolated snowflakes coming down at times, but certainly not going to amount to anything as far as road conditions go. So good news in that regard. Kids, I'm sorry, not the kind of forecast you want when you hear the opportunity of snow. This is not going to be an event where you need to get the sleds out unless we see a massive drastic change, which right now doesn't look likely. We'll actually have to see that 23-degree air temperature overnight actually come up a little bit. If it were closer to around 28, 29, 30 degrees, still below freezing, that would open the door for more moisture to be present in eastern North Carolina, and that would give us a better opportunity for snowfall as those systems roll through. But that's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Monday.